What's that sledgehammer?
Hey, it's Derek Gainer. We are back today with episode number 9 for Final Fantasy 1. This is for the PSP once again. We just picked up the canoe. As you can see, it makes crossing the lake so much easier. As I was saying in the last episode, that it was kind of a pain to go around in a circle and keep running into those random encounters. I think that they ran up the random encounter right there was just because, or just to encourage people to use the canoe more often. Right now I'm wandering around trying to find a way to get to that entrance right there. Please, if you look to your left, you'll see the slight stuttery. I'm not exactly sure why towards this point in the game I was starting to have more slowdown and stutter issues. However, it didn't impact the gameplay all too much, so I just decided to go with it. So, maybe it's just the water effects. Well, I wasn't having problems with the water effects in the ocean, so, I don't know. I'd rather play this stuff on original hardware. That seems to work the best, but that's not always an available option, especially when the original hardware doesn't really have a very good way of pushing out the video content. So, I own several different copies of this game for several different platforms. So I was just picking which one of them looked the best that I could end up using. The Android version that I have, it's definitely not my favorite one. The control scheme, like I have said before, is really awkward. You're stuck on a grid, number one. Number two, it's an on-screen D-pad, which, wouldn't be terrible. But if they'd have made it an on-screen analog stick, that would have been 10 times better to have used. And so, it's been a while since I've last been at this temple, so I'm running around checking every nook and cranny so I don't not necessarily miss anything, but just so I can continue on with this dungeon. It is a very long dungeon, and it is split awkwardly in half. Just a fair warning, guys. So, nope, can't tent in here. However, there we go, some trusty old potion, which will be supplemented later on with super potion. No, that's Pokemon. I couldn't tell you. I don't remember. Full potion, full something. And then I think I get some full restore, max ether, or God, I feel like I'm saying things that belong in a Pokemon game. So, and then there we go. Again with the Phoenix, I think it might have been better if every time you encountered a Phoenix, instead of fighting them, you had to solve a riddle. That might not have been feasible in the original game, but in a remake, that might have been a really cool feature to have implemented. And that lava is kind of a pain because it just eats away at your health, and you got to keep an eye on that. It might slowly chip it down, but it's something you definitely got to keep an eye on. Because if you're not paying attention between the random encounters and the lava, you're going to find yourself running low on HP rather quickly. And I still don't know what kind of enemies those Ankhigs. I don't know what they're supposed to be, maybe worms, according to the graphic, but I've never heard of anything quite like that before. So, I couldn't tell you. And apparently we're going to run into quite a bit of them throughout this. So, but they don't seem to be too much of an issue to take care of. Maybe slightly annoying. There we go, just Mithril swords definitely seem to be helping quite a bit. And the Black Mage's magic is also very helpful. Using Blizzard, not Fire, or Fire Agra, or whatever. That seems to be a better choice in this situation. Let's see if I've actually followed through with what I'm saying now versus what I was doing back then. I probably was. Yep, I was. Blizzagra, or Blizzardra. Blizzardra. I have no idea how I'm supposed to pronounce any of that. So now we get to open this chest, which gives us a Mithril helm, which I'm already fully equipped with, I do believe. Yeah, just another thing to sell. Even though selling things at this point in the game is rather, I wouldn't say it was useless, but definitely wasn't as useful as, say, just going to Peninsula Power. The Peninsula Power was definitely a very good place to go. And I don't think they kept it. They could have changed it for any of the remakes, but because it was such an iconic piece of the original game, they just decided to leave it in. Which I am just fine with. Some of the other games also have like an equivalent of the Peninsula Power. Like Final Fantasy II, like there's this area to the north that you can get to in the very beginning of the game, which will just decimate your party. And even once you're like halfway through the game, it still decimates your party too. I still have not beaten it. I just wanted to see what it was like. I didn't want to get too far into it. Next time I do, I might want to do a let's play of it and actually be able to not know what's going on. That way I'm not, that way I'm experiencing the game the first time with the viewer, and I don't already know what's going on. And it is nice you can actually open up the chest from behind. I'm just kind of picturing him, reaching around and opening the chest back and looking over the top, and over the lid, and be like, oh, there we go, look, it looks like there's a lot of money in there. Bizakra seems to do a decent amount of damage. It's not a one-hit KO, but I'll take whatever damage I can dish out. Alright, and a little, well, not antidote, but anti-poison spell. Definitely very useful. Poison. I don't understand why they can have better names for some of this stuff. They could have gone with basic ice attack, been snowstorm. And then they could have gone with blizzard for the second one, and then ice storm for like the third. Or they could have done ice storm as the second one over Blizzagra and Blizzard and Rosabara. I don't know. I guess that would make fire attacks maybe a little harder. I like the way they implemented it in the second game, where it's Fire 1, Fire 2, Fire 3, Fire 4, and you don't have to go out and buy or learn how to do Fire 2. You learn how to do it by using fire. You learn by using. So some of the guides I've read on Final Fantasy II, they say that the best thing to do is pretend like everybody's a monk and just strip them of all armor. Not necessarily of weapons, but just the armor. That way they can gain as much HP as possible. Which, it makes sense, but it seems like it would take a lot longer to make, to get going on the game. Seems like something to, I don't know, look into or something or other. And then just have her or him, Dark Element, him, heal up. Just a little fairy dust over everybody. Like, here you go. There's a little bit of health, health for you. Oh, a little bit of gil again. I guess that could be useful. Not my favorite thing to get all the time. I would definitely appreciate more armor and stuff. Oh, and also, I'm not sure if you guys noticed in previous episodes, but there are sometimes chests that are open that I didn't open. It's because they have the item in 2 different locations at once, and you can only grab it out of the one location at one time. And it wasn't necessarily that it was such a large dungeon that took me so long to get through this level. It was this particular room where there's just so much to explore and items and gil to pick up that it was hard to say no. I didn't really, at the time, I didn't think it was such. Didn't think it took such a long time, and I honestly debated when I was going back and editing whether or not I was going to leave in this exploration, and ultimately, as you can tell, I decided to leave it in because I never know. You never know who that might help. Somebody looking up how to, like, a walkthrough of Final Fantasy 1, and like they're missing an item and for whatever reason they just can't seem to find it. That might be some way for it to, some way for them to be like, oh wait, you can go that way? I'm not 100% sure, but it might be something that would be useful in such a situation. What are those, like, birds? Firebirds? I wonder what it would have been like if they'd gone with, like, a phoenix or something. Or do they have phoenix feathers? So apparently phoenix are good guys if you're using them to heal yourself. But if they did have phoenix as bad guys, that would be interesting to see, like, a phoenix farm or something to gather their feathers for use in this game. I don't know. It would be interesting. Like, sometimes it just seems that it would be interesting to take a deeper look into the game. Alrighty, there goes another fire hydra. I'm sure you guys have heard of Hercules' tale with the hydra, with you cut off one head, 2 more grow back, and he finally figured out how you kill it. You cut off the head and you amputate the head, one of the heads, and then you quickly cauterize where the head was so the heads can't grow back. You know what? It seems weird that a magical being that's capable of growing its head back after getting it cut off wouldn't be able to grow them back after having the place burned. Do you think it would just heal that and then just sprout 2 heads, and the only way to kill it would be to cut out its heart instead? I don't know. Maybe somebody with more Greek mythology knowledge would be so kind to gratiate, or at least tell me why that is, like why a Hydra can't, like, that was the way to kill the Hydra, and otherwise it wasn't killable. And again, we were still running into these guys, Inkheg, the Inkhegs, which look like some kind of like millipede or centipede or something or other, with a blue palette in a fire zone. So looking at those guys, you might think that they would belong like underwater, maybe, not here in the fire temple. I don't think they use like a fire attack at all. But yeah, whatever. It's whatever, huh? And we obtained some gil. I think it's funny, like, you kill some guys and like, oh hey, look, they dropped some coins. Dude, that's just a tortoise. I wonder where he got these. Coins from. Makes you wonder, don't it? Are all these enemies you're fighting sentient? Or are they mindless puppets? The world may never know. So. Oh, look, we all got a level up. Yay. Like I said, everybody maxed out their HP except for Dragoat. Dragoat was like 50 points away, and it was just, like, amazing that he actually got that high, because most of the time when he gained the HP up, it was like 1 or 2, I think, maybe 3 at a time. Would have been nice if he had gotten a little more HP, because sometimes he was the heaviest hitter out of all of them. The warriors are just there to protect him on the road. Well, they get ready to work up their magic and go boom, you're dead. Maybe Blizzard isn't so effective against these guys, but Blizzardra, whatever. Blizzard 3 doesn't seem to be that effective against these guys, but yeah. Do you guys understand why this took so long to just get through? Because there was just so many nooks and crannies you had to explore, and potentially lots of good loot that would be very helpful later on. Maybe not in this dungeon, but on the next dungeon, like Thunder Sword, which actually the Coral Sword is the best. Would have been one of the best weapons to use in the water dungeon or whatever it might have been. Just taking out a fire elemental. And look at all this sweet, sweet loot. Oh, another Mithril Helm. I already have one. I think I already got some Mithril Gloves. High Potion, that's what it was. Got plenty of tents. There's maybe some gear would be useful. Oh, fire, or Lava Worm. Definitely susceptible to Blizzard, I do believe. Or Blizzardra. Just a little bit of heal across everybody. Not everybody needs it, but it's always nice to get a little bit of, hey dude, you okay? So took care of him with ease. Oh, some antidote can be useful. Okay. And now I have to walk all the way around to check like the 3 last chests. Pyrolisk. Wonder if they have any relation to obelisks. I'm just kidding. Mithril Shield. I don't think I have one. Mithril Axe. I think I don't need that. Oh, Mithril Down. Soft Feathers. I wonder if they have their pillows stuffed with all the Phoenix Down that I have them supplied with later on. And it looks like the random encounter level is going to go up again. Helgigas, man, you can find those guys everywhere. How do they, aren't they like a forest-based enemy or something? And they find their way down here somehow. Huh. But, I remember at the beginning of the game fighting them, and the Peninsula Pirate, these guys are kind of hard. So glad I have, magician, or the mages on this team, because you would probably be a lot harder to deal with if you just had the just all fighters, or like fighters and the 2 fighters and a thief and a kung fu guy. I'm having a brain fart. I can't remember what they're called, but you guys know what I'm talking about. Alrighty, and then some more. Oh, they got mages too, but they're not as good as my mages. My mages are 20 times better. Take that, Ogre Chief. Your mages are no match against my mage. Like in fighting the ogres, maybe? No. Don't remember fighting any mages, but Blizzard is very effective, and it takes out, finished off their party. And I think that's the right way to go. I got a little lost. So, well, I think we eventually make it out of this room. And right as we do, we will jump into the next episode. Hope you guys will like, subscribe, thumbs up, ring bells, stuff. I don't know. Well, thank you guys, and hope you guys have a great rest of your days. Peace.